before I start, be sure and check my books out on Amazon. Okay, here's another incredible and obvious evolution fraud. This one is really unbelievable. It's the Denisovans, a whole civilization of people, of ancient hominids. Well, evidence for the Denisovans were found in this tiny cave in Siberia. A Russian paleoanthropologist about 8 or 10 years ago decided to go spelunking in this cave and digging around, and boy, he came up with some incredible fossils. Well, one is this tiny pinky finger bone, and the other is a primary tooth of a child with no roots on it. Of course, these fantastic fossils brought paleoanthropologists from all over the world with their shovels and magnifying glasses, and they began digging to see if they could find anything more. Well, they really didn't. But can you imagine if you got a phone call and somebody said, oh, we found a pinky finger bone and a primary tooth with no roots in a cave in Siberia, and come on and dig, and you go racing over to Siberia and dig like these people are doing? That is just unthinkable. But here they are digging and digging, and look what they found, some notebooks. Not much more. I mean, they dug and found nothing, but even so, we got a whole new civilization of people, the Denisovans, out of a tiny pinky finger bone and a primary tooth. Well, then guess what? In a cave in Tibet, another phenomenal find. It was a partial jawbone with a couple of teeth. And this was, of course, assigned to the Denisovans also, which means that the Denisovans were a civilization that was all over Asia. Well, this phenomenal news made headlines all over the world in every science periodical there was. It was just huge news. Scientists all over the world were celebrating this fantastic find. Finally, we got more great evidence of human evolution from apes. I mean, when a science is really hurting for evidence for its existence, anything, a pinky finger bone, a primary tooth with no roots, anything will do as evidence. From these two tiny morsels, the highly paid evolution artists get going, and of course they make sculptures and portraits of this new phenomenal civilization. Fake paintings of the entire skull was even made, from a pinky finger bone, a little jawbone, and primary tooth with no root. Scientist Svante Pablo won the Nobel Prize for determining the genome of this new phenomenal civilization. My question, of course, is how could any DNA exist in a 50,000-year-old tooth and bone, but somehow he found it and determined the DNA? I don't know. That's another question I have that I'm sure won't be answered. Well, from this DNA, it was determined that Neanderthals and Denisovans played together. They fished and hunted, and they were good buddies. And here's a couple of the models made of a Neanderthal and a Denisovan. That genome let everybody know that the Denisovans and the Neanderthals even partied together. And well, heck, we even know what the Denisovan Playmate of the Month looked like. Of course, now we can draw all the maps with arrows because we know how they migrated all over the world practically. Well, a whole book was written on the origin and the culture of the Denisovans. And can you imagine the made-up stuff in this book? It's got to be Grimm's fairy tales in spades. Well, if there was an award to any science for the most fraudulent, fake, picayune evidence, that science would be evolution, no doubt about it.